Mayday, Mayday in Dundastan, Abaco, Bahamas. Boy, y'all being had again. I guess that ham and turkey that was giving out before the local government election had y'all constipated that you couldn't think with your right head. All that fine drawing of the Barrel Society and all this glass and all this beautiful architectural work. I've been to about 2 or 3 meetings local government and that haven't been discussed. They can't even find a graveyard. It's amazing to see how we are in Dundastan and what this chairman has cost. You see, where we call the Haitian graveyard, if you all don't know, that was the extension of the Dundastan and Central Pine graveyard. But the chairman gave the okay for people that were dying in the mud. See, they were in Mars Shaba. They couldn't bury in the Mars Shaba grave because they were wrong pigmentation. So the chairman and his wise self, after we object to it, him and the administrator agreed to bury the first set of Haitians in the extension of the Dundastan Cemetery, what they call the Haitian Cemetery. But go on Front Street, Dundastan, and that will tell you about the leadership and the lack thereof. We don't have any space there available. But now they're coming into the community of Central Pines and they are building a supposed graveyard right up from the, right in the back of the Haitian graveyard, right directly in the back where they bury the suspected victims of Hurricane Doreen. That is when you don't have no vision. But when it's the Society Hall, the Barrel Society, that was belonging to the Dundastan Barrel Society #1, that actually was an antique because it's been there over 60 years, and the brother break it down because he said it had structural fracture. It had the back break-in just like his house, but he didn't break his house down. Any structural engineer, once you told them the value and the glue to this building that has kept the community of Dundastan together, some other extra architectural brain would have came and secured that building, but we didn't even have a chance to look. The Dundastan Town Committee didn't have a chance to look because the chairman acts like a dictator. But let him stay there with a little nothing job, trying to fool the fools. But Dundastan have already been fooled because I did the videos, boy, and he didn't like the videos. I did the videos about the house right across from him that still don't have no door. And it's a crying shame, it still don't have no door. But Mother's Day coming up. And boy, I wish I had Althea. I wish I could have seen a smile once again. And we had some Jehovah's Witness in Abaco the other day, and they were doing a study in Dundas and Murphytown on the young people and what they thought after Hurricane Doreen. 90% of the kids said their only hope is to come out of Abaco. Why you want to come out of Abaco? Because they have never seen so much selfishness. And it started right from the pastors were working with Samaritan Place. These guys were brutes and they didn't give a hell. Not one inkling about robbing the poor people or taking the people off the list or not putting them on the list because they don't think that they like them. That is why God is not pleased. he tried to usher all that stuff out to sea. But the evidence of greed, when you could turn off the water at the airport, when you know families after families has nowhere. It's not like Nassau that you can have a spigot out there, water pump. But they find somewhere. And the simple thing of finding water in Abaco, when these black brutes find out that people are using free water, they go and shut it off. That is unacceptable. I told him to go to Kirk Cornish. Kirk Cornish worked as water and sewage. He's the member of parliament for North Abaco, and his people in North Abaco can't get water to bathe, can't get water to drink, can't get water to bathe their kids. Because somebody in government has shut the water off. That the people that are still living in a car, still living in a house without running water, without electricity, can't have a bath from the pumps in Abaco. God is watching, and he's writing these 2 books, and he's writing the book of good and the book of bad. And so far, what the people of Abaco has done to the people of Abaco, the only people that has prospered and living good in Abaco is the Haitians. They have already built 100 homes. They didn't have to go through town planning. They didn't have to go to get no building permit. They just went and built, and they're still building. While we have to be on hold. The land is kept from Bahamians that need some help. And the authority figures in Abaco are putting in themselves in a position to make sure that their son gets one little job to government, this son get a job at that government agency, but who else son have you helped? Who else daughter have you gotten straight? They're watching. Althea said, when these brutes and buggers come to the end of their ropes, you will be sad after them. See, Hurricane Dorian didn't teach you anything. It thought y'all to be more greedier and to make y'all to believe you're so up here and believe that you could sit at the table and try to screw everybody by your own admission of acting like if you're a progressive liberal party hierarchy. You're hurting everybody. And until the progressive liberal party sit people down like yourself and recognize that the progressive liberal party could do without selfish people that only in the game for themselves. And if you don't believe Kai Mills, ask Renato Curry. And if you don't believe Renato Curry, ask Darren Henfield. And if you don't believe Darren Henfield, Kai's always been on the ground. Ask Kai Mills. I ain't gonna deviate from nothing. I'm staying on my lane, full speed ahead. And to let the Progressive Liberal Party to know that y'all ought to know who is Progressive Liberal Party. Not these switch hitters, left, right, and the day-day boys, and the night-day girls. So until the PLP could figure that out, you'll be a second term, but figure it out early. Because we can't figure out where our barrel society will be built or when it can be built. But that was on the agenda in the election. First thing we're gonna do, find a barrel society to have our meetings and understand. We're gonna find a graveyard. Lord, I hope I preach to some of them funeral at the grave. I want to be the first preacher to bury some of them bisexual buggers. We can bury them 12 feet with a truck of cement on top of their behind that they can't get out of hell. Give me the job to preach that sermon. That would be a good look. But because Kai still care. Too many crooks. Too many crooks in this town. God tired, man tired, and Kai tired. Because Kai cares. That's why he's here. Mayday! 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 Recognize who is PLP from political prostitutes, because Kai still cares. Too many political prostitutes acting as PLP in this town. Kai cares.